use this to tell your parents that, well, the second law of thermodynamics states that I can't do that, so I can't clean my room. It always has to get dirtier. That's not what I'm saying. And this is why, okay? There's always a cause and effect. So if you think about it as a balance, you can see that if you clean your room, it's going from disordered to ordered. But you have to ask yourself, what around it is going from ordered to disordered to balance that scale to at least 0, if not more disordered, okay? So you can think about things like you moving around. What's that doing? Your movement is moving molecules and atoms around you. The more movement equals more energy. The more things move, the more energy they have, which means, as we saw, the time when energy increases, it becomes more disordered. So just by you moving, you're adding more disorder around you. Okay, so that's starting to offset the orderedness of your cleaned room. What else is happening? As you move, what's your body doing? It's burning energy, right? And that release of energy, that heat, is increasing the energy, right? The heat is more disordered on our scale. If we're remembering our scale, if you're lying like a lump on the couch, you have a lower temperature. If you're moving around, cleaning your room really fast because people are coming over, your temp goes up, right? They might seem like small changes, but on the whole, if you start thinking about things that way in terms of the total universe around you, if you paid attention to it all, you would see that there are enough things going into disorder to balance the things going into order, okay? So on the whole, even though it seems like the idea of evolution seems totally like it's going against it, it's not necessarily going against the second law of thermodynamics. However, if you read through the book, they talk about the fact that although it doesn't prove it, it simply doesn't disprove these theories. Just because it doesn't disprove them doesn't mean that it's true, because they have to be able to come up with a mechanism to offset that disorder to order. And as of now, in the book author, Jay Wiley, he basically says, in his opinion, they still haven't found that mechanism to balance that, okay? So, all that being said, so we talked about delta H. Let me just recap really quick. We talked about delta H, which is the change in energy of reactions. And we talked about 2 ways to find it. Bond energies, writing out the little Lewis structures, kind of annoying, but happens. And Hess's law. It's the sum of the products minus the sum of the reactants, okay? Then we talked about just now entropy, disorder, change in disorder, okay? Which is the same thing as Hess's law. Sum of products minus sum of reactants, okay? Now, why am I telling you all of this? And here's, I'll go over this towards the end. So, what's the whole point of this? Well, the reason why we introduce these 2 things is because we need to be able to see that, you should be able to see now, that delta S is the change in disorder of something. Well, when that, just like your room, when you're cleaning it, what was happening around you in the environment? There was change of energy, right? So when we talk about the second law of thermodynamics, we are talking about both the change in entropy, disorder, and we're talking about the change in energy, enthalpy. Okay? So now we're going to bring all this together because we need both of these things if we're going to talk truly about the second law of thermodynamics of things either being equal or more disordered. We have to talk about both of them. We can't just talk about our substance because it's leaving off everything happening around it. So we're going to bring them both together, and this is how we bring it together with Gibbs free energy. Okay? So let me put up this guy right here. So Gibbs free energy right here. Gibbs free energy is going to be notated with a capital G. Okay? And so we're going to be finding the change in Gibbs free energy. And it simply is a way to put your change in enthalpy and your change in entropy, disorder and change in energy together. Okay?